Hey everybody, welcome back for the last lecture for the week. Yay, you made it. We're almost done. I know this is a lot and don't feel overwhelmed. Try and break it up. Maybe watch one, take a break, then watch another one. It's very hard to sit through this much material. I get it, believe me. All right, so we're going to end our week talking about back vowels. So we talked the last lecture about our front vowels. So if we're looking at where in the mouth um, these vowels are made with our tongue. So we talked about front vowels. Now we're going to be talking about back vowels. But we're also going to talk about these vowels with respect to whether they're high, mid, or low. And then tense, lax, round, and unround. So this will be a little bit easier to understand having just gone through it with the front vowels. So we talked about these vowels on the quadrilateral in our last lecture. We're going to go all the way to the back and talk about these vowels now. Next week, we'll be talking about the central vowels, so don't worry about that for today. So let me just go through what these vowels are just very quickly. So we have oo, o, aw, ah. Okay. Ah is an unrounded vowel. You see, I really had to open my mouth to say that now. The rest are rounded. I'm going to go through each one individually. Ooh, as in boot. You see, it's very rounded. This is a high. So remember, high, mid, low. A high back vowel. These are going to be all back vowels. It's tense. And you saw my mouth was rounded. So ooh, you could feel the tension when you make that vowel, right? Ooh. And if we go back to the vowel quadrilateral here, so when we're talking about the front vowels, I said E is very prominent. It's one of the cardinal vowels. We're over here at one of the other cardinal vowels, right? So cardinal vowels are these corner vowels, and these are ones that children learn first because they're so distinctive. All right, so let's continue on. So ooh is that high, as I just said, extreme back position. It's the extreme corner vowel, produced both in English and Spanish. The body of the tongue is high in the mouth and pulled far back. The root is advanced, so pharynx is going to be open wide. The jaw is in a closed position. Ooh. The lips are rounded. And as with all the vowels that we're talking about, the velopharynx is closed except when there's a nasal sound adjacent. So let's look at this first one. And then we're going to do the same thing we did in the last lecture. I'm going to have you pause and try them yourself, and I'll post the answer key. So again, the vowel is ooh, ooh. So our example here was boot. So that's our second word here. Boot. Boot. So let's try another one. Let's try food. 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 You hear that ooh in the center, right? Now, I think what a lot of students get mixed up with is the next vowel that we're going to talk about, which is close to the ooh. Okay, so uh, uh, is not the same as ooh. It's close, but not the same. So this is where a lot of students seem to get caught up. So let's talk about this next. Oh, very soft sound, right? Oh, book. Oh. So it's high, Again, this we're on the back vowels, but it's a lax vowel. All right. So, not a lot of tension there. Now your lips are rounded. Book. Let me say the word book. 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 Very rounded. Compared to ooh, it's slightly lower and it's shorter in duration. So you could really extend the ooh, ooh. Oh, it's a little bit harder to do that with, right? The body of your tongue, again, is high, mid, and in that back position, but the root is less advanced than it is for ooh. Your jaw is also slightly more open. So a good way to do this is to move between the two vowels. So ooh, ooh, and you can feel the difference, right? As we talked about with all the vowels, your velopharynx is closed unless it has that nasal consonant adjacent. So the example we just started with was book. So let's look at, this should be pretty easy since it rhymes. Shook, shook, book. Oh, there's that sound in it, right? Okay, I'm gonna have you try the rest of them on your own, and you can check with the answer key. Okay, let's talk about O. This is a vowel that children also learn pretty early on. It's a very distinctive vowel. It's commonly used. It's a frequently occurring vowel. Often one of the first things we hear kids saying when they're just starting to vocalize, not even with true words yet, is uh-oh, right? So that O sound is very familiar to them. So O is one of the back vowels. It's a mid-back vowel. It is tense, O, and it is rounded. As a matter of fact, often when we're trying to teach kids this, we will tell them to make their mouth look like an O. O. It's produced in both English and Spanish. The body of the tongue is in that back position and it's lower. So if we were going to go back to our quadrilateral here, so here's the O. So we're in the back, but we're going from high, right, to lower, but still not as low, just in the middle here, lower than it was for the previous vowel. Okay, the jaw is slightly open. O. The lips are rounded, as I said. And as with all the vowels, our velar pharynx is closed, except if we had a nasal consonant adjacent. So, oh, I think is one of the, I don't know, easier ones to identify. I'm going to skip down to the fourth row here. So, ode, the first sound in that word, right? Or let's skip down to the next one. Boat is very prominent vowel, right? So, this one might be a little bit easier than some of the other ones. So, I'm going to have you do that on your own. All right. So, now we're going to get to the tricky part. So, especially because many, if not, well, I was gonna say most of you, and maybe not all of you, are here in California. Not all of you are from California. As I mentioned in our first class, I am not from California. So I hear a distinction between the next vowels that we're going to talk about. But if you were born and raised in Southern California or some other parts of the country, you may not notice the difference as much. So I'm going to start by telling you a funny story. And when I lived in New Jersey, I used to babysit for a family friend's child, and the family lived in New Jersey, but they were from Southern California. And I would read a book to this little boy. It was his favorite book, and it was about birds. And in the book was a crow. And the sound that I taught him to make for the crow was caw, caw. So one day his mom said to me, I don't know where he picked this up from, but when he's reading this book, he's making this crazy sound for the crow. He's going caw, caw. And I realized that was me. But that was not how she made the crow sound because she did not make the vowel, produce the vowel in the same way as me. So anyway, or is a low mid vowel or on the back vowels. It is tense, or, and you see my mouth is rounded, or. The next vowel is ah, like in father, fa, ah, fa. It's a low back tense vowel as well. Okay, so these are all back vowels that we're talking about. It's also tense, but it is unrounded. So, aw, ah. See how my mouth changes? Aw, ah. Ah is produced in both English and Spanish. Now, as I mentioned, if you are from, for example, the Northeast, you will definitely have the aw sound in your dialect. It's a very popular sound. But if you are from California and you don't hear the distinction, don't worry about it when you're doing your transcriptions. So if you are from Southern California, you will mainly recognize it before R. So we talk about R colored vowels later on. Don't worry about that too much now. But you may sometimes, again, hear or transcribe or as ah. All right, so that is it for this week's lectures, and I look forward to seeing you in class.